afternoon, my name is Kirsty Dignam and I'm here to look at the energies for today's Monday's Musings for the week commencing the 29th of April. Nearly into May already, and there really feels like an emphasis of come what may type energy going on at the moment. Undecided what deck to work with, and the deck that I've picked are the Spellcaster's Tarot by Melanie Marquis. Was hoping that I would really connect to them on a more grounded level, but just looking at them now, they're like people, but they're not. They're real, but they're not. I'm really sensing that this week already. There's a lot of old energy, a lot of new energy, and a lot of something else completely. It's almost like a mixture, and what I can see is almost like mixing of paint here, like a mixture to find the right consistency, the right density, the right colour for us on an individual basis right now. And although that can feel quite daunting and confusing to some, there's a great opportunity there to create something unique, completely unique. I have never known a time as much as this last week where I'm so acutely aware of so many different timelines, potentials, whatever you want to call it. It came up last week in the video with there being a glitch. And I've seen a lot of things out in the news, you know, the horses running through London, Big Ben stopping, Moulin Rouge. There's lots of things going on out there that could signify that there's a lot going on in here as well. This week we're being encouraged to make of it whatever we need to make of it in order to recognise where we're at, and that's the key aspect. So this morning I felt a little bit discombobulated purely for the sheer fact that I was about to do a reading on the collective energy and how to best navigate it individually, but not feeling connected to either or. Okay, and that may make us sense into almost not being able to speak of things that are going on or not find them relatable, but actually there's a great emphasis here of being able to witness what is going on from all different angles, but also still be able to navigate our own path as a result. Yes, it's going to come up a few tempos. Yes, it's going to feel as if it's real but not real, applicable but not applicable. And it's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity there to really fine tune, to really listen in to what is going on for us. Where are we at? So we are going to be encouraged to look over certain aspects of our past as a result this week. I felt it myself. This morning's guidance was, if you are going to speak of all that you have done, you must always remember and reflect on how far you have come. They go together. We can get really frustrated thinking about where we would want to be, how we want to figure these things out, the end game, if you will. But in order to get to the end game, there's a certain energy that is required to get us through each labour stage, each initiation, each rites of passage, each step upon that journey. And that energy that gets us through is us more evolved with each part. But obviously we don't know that's even happened if we're too busy focusing on how far we have to go or what it is that we have done. We need to really feel and look back and almost feel back and wait for our past to catch up with us. Everything that we have gone through, everything we have achieved, everything we haven't achieved, the path that we have walked so far almost feels as if it needs to catch back up with us, as if the timelines are actually merging into one potential, which gives us that opportunity to take a bit from there and a bit from there, and I learned that and I don't need to take that forward. And that is the other energy we're facing this week, the much needed recognition of where we don't need to keep delving into other energies, where we may be putting ourselves in positions, circumstances, relationships, situations even, that aren't helping us to grow. They are merely helping us to take the same narrative forward on a timeline that is no longer relevant to that. So with that in mind, one of the ethos, one of the key emphasis this week is to recognise who we are and what we bring to the table, because it's never been more paramount to, if we're going to compare ourselves with anybody, to ensure that we compare ourselves with ourselves. Okay, one, we recognise how far we've got, two, we recognise where we are, and three, we recognise of our own we become recognized within our own capability of being able to keep moving forward in that arena, in that energy, in that vibration, in that timeline. And we may find this week that certain aspects are not only not relevant, they're in a whole different fucking world from where we are. It's a whole different place. It's like, you know, we may look at things and think, is that my world? That doesn't make sense. It doesn't resonate with me. It doesn't feel real. Really relating to that, really going into that. If it isn't part of it for the time being, don't spend the energy there. Fine tuning, going inside, connecting to what is relevant to us, this video included. So with that in mind, I'm not going to drag it out. I'm not going to talk about all these different things that are going on. That is up to the individual to find it. What I'm going to do is connect to, as I always do, the bigger vision that is occurring here and any guidance and how to best navigate it on an individual level. Where, from the perspective of the earth, that's where I work. So we may also find ourselves going back to old ways of working, in particular this week. For me, I've noticed I am feeling a real call to return to walking alongside plants, really connecting to their medicine. I've just found 3 old journals that I used to write in every time I would connect to a plant, and the medicine and the wisdom and the healing that comes through. So I'm going to be bringing that back into my practice daily for myself, but who knows where that will go. And that's the other thing this week, bringing back aspects of our path that did work for us, that have perhaps been more silent in the background, waiting for us to sort out wherever we think we're going, so we can finally go, okay, I don't know, this is where I'm going, let's bring this back now, let's reconnect to this aspect of myself, let that timeline catch up. Okay, so yes, the guidance that I'm going to give is coming, 9 of Pentacles, is coming from the wisdom that I feel around me, portrayed also in the imagery. But there will be many different ways in which the messages will come through this week, and the more open we are to them, what we're actually being more open to is ourselves. We're being more open to our own awareness, okay? And awareness is a living energy. The more we feed it, the more we nurture it, the more we connect to it, the more we allow space for it, the more we think, actually, what is beyond that? What is beyond me? What is beyond this understanding that is going on here? Maybe it isn't just this way or this way. Maybe there's another way. The more open we are, the more we are going to expand, and the more abundant, the more abundant the messages, the more abundant ourselves and our own experiences of life become. There's a big difference between seeing something as red and we know that it's red, or feeling that red and sensing that red and allowing that color of red to move within us. One of the gifts of the Moon Key and a lot of the path that I've walked since childhood is what they would call the shamanic sight. So that taking those senses and just increasing them, just opening them up, feeling them. I'm really noticing that all the clairs, the clair audio, the clairvoyance, the ability to see, the ability to feel, all of the clairs in my own body are picking up this week. Yes, it has been as a result of what I would deem as hypersensitivity, but when I hold space for that and go within, there's a multitude of messages available there, and that can really help with the almost disconnection, heartedness, hopelessness that many have been feeling, to really go into something beyond how we would normally go into it. So maybe our initial reaction doing the opposite perhaps, and seeing where that may take you with a bit of curiosity. Okay, so I've tried this hasn't worked, what about doing this? Going right into what is occurring to find the many different colours that are available, the many different outcomes, the many different potentials, the many different lessons, the many different versions of ourselves. Okay, so with that in mind, so we've talked about the different timelines merging into one. We've talked about finding our own unique path within the middle of it all. So many forks in the road this week, so many decisions to be made, or at least that's how it can feel, but actually it isn't. It's really quite obvious when we go into how we feel and what we feel. Don't be surprised if aspects return from paths that have been previously walked. It will not be the same. It may feel the same, but it will not be the same, because we are not the same. Things have changed, and that obviously is down to us to see, to feel, to recognize, to learn from. I feel something there about the beautiful picture that patterns can make. Not getting rid of all patterns, really recognizing the thread that runs through them, what holds them together, what is being formed as a result. Seeing the bigger vision of ourselves this week is going to be key. We can get really caught up in what is going on, and that's beautiful. That's part of the process. That's almost like picking up the thread to start sewing the pattern, and then we can be really aware of any inherited patterns or repetitions that we're making. Again, that's the initial crafting that we're doing, but what are we actually making as a result? Can we expand our view, our awareness, and really look into that? So the Hermit, yeah, can we really go inside here and find the key to our own light? Because that's what we're actually being gifted. A real chance to discover, self-discovery, a call to action from ourselves, actually. Okay, so energies this week and how to best navigate them. So we have the Seven of Cups at the bottom of the pack, and it's actually reversed. Things aren't as confusing as they seem. It's all about changing our perspective, and that comes from, as you can see in the bottom of this card here, the turtle, tortoise, whatever it may be, the slowing down. The slowing down, seeing things from different perspectives means we need to slow down. So the brain takes in thousands of messages every second, thousands, and it can get quite overwhelming, and that's without the spiritual stuff, the psychic stuff, the emotional stuff. That's just what we see in front of us, this information coming in. It can be quite overwhelming, so it tends to fill in the gaps. It says, oh yes, I've seen the colour red, I know what that is, that's what it looks like, boom, boom, boom. So we never get to explore the different maroons or pinks, or, you know where I'm going with this. When we slow down and we say, okay, so that's red, but then what? And what? And what? And what? We can start to really unravel what is being created here and recognize that any indecisions, any confusions, any emotional uncertainty has purely come from the sheer fact that we haven't slowed down enough to feel into what is occurring. We haven't slowed down enough to see that all of this is actually connected. Instead, we're seeing it as separate, almost unobtainable aspects in our life. But if we slow down, we can see them as a reflection of our own energy centers, a reflection of possibly of the last 7 years, of the 7 generations, of the 7 worlds. There's a lot going on, of the 7 timelines. There's a lot going on here, but slowing down brings us into the present moment, which brings us into us. When we're in the present moment in our body, we can hold space for so much more. There's this great belief that in order to meditate or to transcend or to connect, we leave our physical body, but our body is the doorway to all of these different potentials. This week, really, really feeling into that. Okay, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 2 for Saturday. Move them along. Come Saturday, there will be 2 aspects that means we will need to move things along Sunday before we can move forward on a Sunday, because overall we have the 10 of Wands. So there is a lot that is being carried here. There is a lot of ideas, a lot of visions, a lot of hopes, a lot of dreams, a lot of ambitions, a lot of energy, a lot of spiritual energy being carried here, and it's almost leaving us unable to see the path in front of us. Yes, we have the trust that comes from taking 1 step at a time, 1 foot in front of the other. Something is going to give. Things have already been dropped along the way, but something is going to give. So holding out for, I hear the song, holding out for a hero. Yeah, holding out for something externally to come along and knock that out of our arms isn't really going to pay, I want to say dividends, isn't going to give us back the work that we've put in. So it is really up to us to decide what we want to carry forward this week. It is a 10 of Wands, so it is an end game, and I feel that. I feel like there's nothing more to find here other than to realise that it is the end of this situation. That things cannot be carried the way that they have been carried because it is stopping us from seeing the path forward. Yes, we can trust our intuitive steps. However, there is an opportunity here to say, that's the end. we've learned so much about trusting our intuition. We've learned so much about it's not even burnout, it's balance, it's spiritual balance. We've learned a lot here. So it's now up to us at the overall energy of the week, particularly by the end of the week, to say, this is what I want to carry forward, this is what I don't want to carry forward. But that is an individual choice that starts to come into play on the Monday, and that will come into play with our thoughts and our mindset. I was speaking to a dear friend the other day, and I used to call it thought tennis. You know, when you get those thoughts of, I can never do this. And then I used to encourage people to play tennis with that, to really play with those thoughts. Okay, so what would be the other side? Well, what if I could? And batting forward these ideas to see what they have in common. Yesterday there was a real clear defining moment for me anyway of not having to do this anymore, or almost, and I called it like a thought tinder, like swipe, I don't want that thought, I don't want that thought, I don't want that thought. And yes, that can almost feel as if we're bypassing things, but actually it is an opportunity that we all have. So if we've tried everything and we can't get past a certain aspect, and no matter what we do, we keep putting ourselves in that situation and unable to move forward, end the thought there, end that situation, end that circumstance, even if that, or especially if that is just how you see it. I put myself in a lot of positions sometimes to really curiosity killed the cat, right? I'm a Leo. Why has that caused a glimmer in me? I want to really work with that. Why has that made me feel such and such? Why do I feel drawn to that energy or that person or da 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 da? Why is that coming up for me? But this weekend it got to a point of, I don't fucking care anymore why that's coming up. I don't want it to come up anymore. And for that moment in time, I've done all I want to do with that, and to be self-governing and have those boundaries with myself and say, actually, no, it doesn't make me feel good. I don't want to do it anymore. And that is my choice. And that is something we're really being encouraged to feel into on the Monday with the King of Swords here. It isn't too big. It isn't too much. It doesn't make us cold or angry or stern or anything like that. It's actually self-governing. Okay, it's a great opportunity to see what we are connecting to, not the person, not the situation, but whatever it is that's being triggered in us. So an example, I can put myself in situations where I feel an energy of low worth, and then I will really look into that. But actually what I'm connecting to is the low worth because it's familiar. Really getting very aware with our own actions and our own truth on the Monday. Yes, it doesn't have to be heavy, but it does have to be a reality. It is something we're being encouraged to look into on the Monday in regards to our actions as a result, okay, to really bring back that energy that we may be, I wasn't going to say it, but yes, wasting where it could be better directed, okay, and that is that self-governing energy here on the Monday. And that's where I just feel like I don't want to do anymore. After the Monday, it feels quite, oh my God, okay. I do feel a shift from that. I do feel a need to let things integrate. I do feel a softness, a necessary softness, if we are to avoid the dogmatic energy of the Hierophant on the Tuesday. Okay, we are not slaves to our own lessons. We are not slaves to our own understanding of our path. We are not here to bow down to things that have happened to us. It is really, really on the Tuesday a great opportunity to say, okay, in order for me to learn, I have to interact with what is actually going on or not. Is there anything else on the Tuesday? That is going to be a choice on the Tuesday. So I can look into this and I can see an eye and I can see a blank face, and we can talk about how, you know, it's all about balance and how the imagery itself may not be clear, and it's an opportunity to go within and to see, and or we can just say that's enough. That's enough. I know that's what this all brings to the surface. So on Tuesday it's going to be an individual energy in regards to how much you feel you need to know about a situation before you make a decision. On the Wednesday, of course, then we would have the Queen of Wands. So we've made a decision. Yeah, we've decided how much we need to know about that situation before we choose or whatever. And then on the Wednesday we have the Queen of Wands, and that's that energy of, so now I want you to nurture that decision. It's almost, I see the analogy of the Tower card and the Star card. A lot of people get caught up with the Tower card. All these big changes happening. Oh, you know, all these things that have happened. And they really look forward to the Star card. But the Star card can be quite difficult because it's so far away, right? You've had the Tower, everything has crumbled. And on Tuesday, there are going to be decisions that will really change the, I want to say altercations. There will be decisions or altercations that will change the scenario on the Tuesday, and that gives us a great opportunity to stand firm in what it is we are taking forward, what lessons we now wish to share with ourselves and with each other in regards to big aspects in our life, including how we live our life. On the Wednesday, yeah, so we've had the Tower, the Hierophant type energy. On the Wednesday, okay, we've made that decision. Now we have the potential of the Star, right? We have the potential of a far greater vision. We have that, oh fuck, oh my God, so that means I don't want to do that. I'm determined to do this, which means I now have to do this, this and this. I now have to stand behind my decisions. I have to nurture those choices that I've made on the Wednesday, really feeling into that feminine wisdom there. It's one thing to trust our instinct. It's another to act on our instinct. What happens then if it works out in a way we may not have expected? Better, worse, whatever that may be. How do we then react to the reaction of acting on our instinct? How well do we nurture that? Do we regret what we've done? Do we spend all our time regretting it or judging ourselves or having guilt or shame? Or do we stand in that spiritual connection of, I did the best I could in that moment. That's what was right for me in that moment. That's going to be a real opportunity on the Wednesday, which leads us into Thursday with the Hierophant. No, the Hermit, which is turned back up again. I want to reflect on that. This is the second time the Hermit has come out of the pack. Okay, so come the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I feel some confusion trying to come in, some kind of brain fog trying to come in, and that's where we're encouraged to slow down. Slow down on the Thursday, recognizing repetitive messages for what's actually underneath them, an opportunity to go within and see what is being shown here. To go within and see how to best be navigated and guided forward from our own wisdom and from our own light. I did think that this card was actually the Hierophant to start off with, which it isn't, but what I do find beautifully unique is in the background of the Hermit here we have the crescent moon, and we also then have it on the back of the female here. Okay, so what is actually behind us? What are we holding behind us? Not quite ready to be seen yet. Come Thursday, we're being given an opportunity. We've stuck with our mind. We've connected to what works for us, cut out what is no longer wanting to go forward for us, learnt from our lessons, decided what we need in order to make a decision, made those decisions, been encouraged to stand by those decisions. And on the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we are being guided to really look at what we may not have been able to see up until that moment, okay, and allowing that to guide us forward. On the Friday we then have the Temperance card. Again, I wanted to say the Hierophant. So we may feel as if this week is full of lessons. Slow down, look at them. Are they lessons? Are they an opportunity to go within? Are they lessons, or are they an opportunity to take what we have discovered and apply it to life? When things come back up again, we can automatically feel as if we haven't sussed out that lesson, as if we haven't done enough, as if we haven't figured out the answers, as if perhaps we need to tweak what we've understood, or, you know, we haven't understood the mission kind of thing, you know, we've got it wrong. That isn't the case. On Tuesday, we are given an opportunity to look at all the lessons, to recognise which ones have actually taught us, which ones we need to be discerning with in order to move forward. The rest of the week isn't about the lessons. It's about going within and finding that light and applying that to life. And on Friday, that's a really great opportunity with Temperance here as we go, okay, so I've dealt with my mind. Okay, so I've dealt with the fire, the passion, the ambition that drives me. This is a wonderful opportunity here to really feel into my emotions. Have they been guiding me? If so, which ones? Have they been from the past? Are they relevant now? And some will be. Some will be. You know, it's that phrase of, oh, I hate it, but chucking the baby out with the bathwater, right? Some will be relevant. Okay, so don't throw it all away. Take an opportunity on the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I keep losing track of where I am this week, so keep an eye on that. You know, really being present with where you are. All the days are connected, but they're all individual in their own rights. They're big learning points this week. They're big moments to sit in our own power. They're big moments to really get clear on what it is we want to take forward, what it is we're trying to achieve. And they're big moments on how much we believe in ourselves to be able to do that. They are individual moments, but it can feel like a bit of a blur. It can feel like there's no clarity this week at all. Taking a moment in each of them to slow down, really feel into what you want to take forward on all levels on the Friday emotionally in regards to the past. On the Saturday, that's when we have the 2 cards. On the Saturday, that is the opportunity. I mean, every opportunity is an opportunity to move forward. Every opportunity is an opportunity of change and growth because it happens anyway. We get really caught up in this. I have to do this. I have to do that. I have to be X, Y, and Z in order for things to change. Change happens anyway. Whether it's the oxygen in your blood, when you breathe, that changes, yeah? Whether it's the muscles that you use when you're doing everyday things, they grow. Whether that's your mind because you allow yourself just to look at things differently, everything automatically evolves. And on the Saturday, really feeling into that is what's going to bring forth a new idea here. If we can truly see things for what is going on rather than what we wanted them to be, rather than what we thought they were, rather than what they have been before, if we can see things from a whole different brand new perspective, a connection that goes beyond what we have known previously, being really open to that, particularly when it comes to our ambition and our own spiritual awareness this week. Yeah, we will see that change is actually the only constant. Even in those moments where it feels like we don't know what the hell we're doing and we're just, you know, chucking it out there and just, oh, I'll do this, oh, I'll do that. A classic example, when I trained to be a midwife, it was totally by accident. It was not planned. I wanted to be a nurse. I applied too late. I ended up working in a nursing home for a while to get some experience because I was only a wee nipper. And I just thought, what do I want to do then? And I closed my eyes and I just picked on the UCAS form, and it happened to be midwifery, and it was the best decision in my life. Now, I'm not suggesting, and the only reason I'm not suggesting is it's your life. I have no regrets when it comes to that decision at all. But I'm not suggesting that you follow suit. But what I am encouraging you to feel into is those choices that were made when you weren't sure and what you actually learned from them. There's wisdom in there. There's a new way of seeing your own connection to your own spirituality in there. There's a way of shifting the perspective in there. Okay, and it can feel out of control and it can feel a bit chaotic. You know, we have the 5 of Wands there, and it can feel as if everyone is whacking at the ultimate, whether that's a dream you share with people, whether, and I can relate to that, whether that's a belief that you all want, or spirit that you want to connect to, or what you think abundance is, or love, or whatever. It can really feel as if everyone has all different opinions, and that it's not you're not getting a go to put your say across, you're not getting a go to speak about what is important to you. But actually on the Sunday, it's recognizing they all have a place, that we're all blind to our own potential in each moment. All we can truly see is where we're at. Even with the tarot cards, yeah, we can see where we're at, and we can start to really reflect on that reflection and where we might want to go as a result. But we can only know what is available in each moment. We can have a rough idea of the bigger vision, but it can almost feel sometimes as if we're just batting at it with our eyes closed. And being aware of that is what actually gives us power. Without knowing what is going on, we can be more open. Okay, if we knew exactly everything that was going to happen in our life, where would be the joy of discovery there? And that's really going to come to light on the Saturday, because it's that on the Sunday that helps us decide. So the difference overall between the 10 of Wands and the 7 of Wands, 3 have been put down. Yeah, 3 have been put down, and it's almost as if it's this one falling here. 3 have been put down here. Oh, nearly changing the order then. And that could be an example, changing the order of priorities. Prioritization this week is going to be key. And I'm just being drawn to the triangle. I'm being drawn to the triangle that's on his chest, the triangle that's also in the Hierophant, the triangle that's also in the 7 of Cups. So the triangle for in the moon eye key is the masculine and the feminine, and to be of service. That equal-sided energy here. Fire, transformation, the ability to put down what is no longer relevant to us, to take forward what is important to us. This is the only deck where he isn't defending himself. The only deck I've seen with the Seven of Wands where he isn't actually having to defend himself against anybody else, any other beliefs, any other dreams, any other ways of being, including his own. He's happy to listen to the birds. He's happy to put down what has got him there that far, to recognise there's no buds on there, there's no growth on there, there's no leaves on there, but there is in the one that he chooses to hold and take forward. And that growth comes from the fact that he's chosen that to take forward. So come the Sunday, recognising the one energy that runs through it all, it's about that. And it's about taking that forward, that Ace of Wands. Okay, your own connection to your own spirituality, your own connection to your dreams. You may have people that have the same dreams. You may have people that have views of what certain things mean, or that are doing very similar things to you, but they are not you. Take yourself forward by being who you are. It doesn't need defending. When we really truly stand in that, it doesn't need defending. And we're not then carrying all these hopes and dreams of others, all these inspirations of others, all these ideas of others. Yeah, we're just carrying our own. And that is the flame, the sacred flame. That is the transformation that's being actually offered to us this week. Okay, so let's break that down. I keep putting them in different orders. So yes, changing the order, prioritising is what's going to make the difference between having to defend what we need, having to defend who we are, having to defend why we are here. The universe doesn't need us to explain why we deserve something. It doesn't. If it's in alignment with the universe and with us, it's going to happen. The only person that needs to hear the belief that is being lacked is us. When we say, I deserve this, 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 and this. Yes, okay. Okay. Yeah. But if we are constantly having to defend that, somewhere along the line, we don't believe in that. Okay. So really looking at how we can prioritize what we need and whatever's going on for us, so that we can go from being overburdened and frustrated and burnt out to standing in our own truth. What do we need to let go of in order to do that? And it's Three of Wands. The difference is Three of Wands. So it could be letting go of the idea of how we think we should be moving forward. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3. 3 major arcanas, which, yes, of course, birth comes from the major energies around us, the universal energies that we have actually, I say we have no control over. How we react controls a situation. It is a co-collaboration here, and that feels really quite important, especially if we feel as if we have no control this week. This happened to me, that happened to me, I've done da-da-da, but this hasn't happened. If we really feel disempowered this week, what is a beautiful opportunity to grow and to share and co-collaborate together, learn together, could almost become a dictatorship. Okay, so really looking at how empowered we feel in what it is we are examining, what it is we are discovering, what it is we are hoping to gain out of a situation. Whether that's relationships, whether that's the dreams we're hoping to manifest, whether that's our connection to the earth, how empowered do we feel in who we are? It's going to be the real telltale sign in how we receive not only our own spirituality, but the very lessons that have helped reconnect us to that. And I really feel like I want a different word, creations. Creations. I really feel like I want a different word for lessons. Like I have a real resistance to that now because of my own judgments on how hard that has been. So really looking at any resistances you may have based on how you choose to see something. So I can see it as lessons. I can see it as an authority figure telling me what to do, or I can see it as an opportunity to create something here. Again, that comes down to the individual. So the 3 major arcanas this week, and I feel that in the altar major, in the back of my head, in the mouth of God. So really giving that a clean this week. It almost seems as if they've been quite fogged up, going for an Indian head massage or wearing a scarf or just giving your head a bit of a rub, okay, and really clearing that energy, because it does feel as if there's been a disconnection to messages, a disconnection to our higher self, a disconnection to, not a disconnection, there's a evolved connection trying to occur. And I feel that in my hips as well. I feel I need to ground to really open up in the root chakra in order for that to come through. And that's what we are being gifted this week through the Hierophant, the Hermit and Temperance. A chance to go within, that's smack bam in the center, a chance to always go within to find the light. That's what this is all about, whether we want to say it's lessons, creations, adversity, experiences, whatever we want to call spirituality, creativity, religion, whatever it is, it's all an opportunity to go within and find the faith that we are seeking in the light that we are, and applying that to life. And we're going to be showing that this week. We're going to be showing that this week. Okay, so minor arcanas. I will look at that in a minute. This week does feel quite full on. It does feel quite full on with all different messages and all different insights, and that's where we have the opportunity to decide what it is we focus on. So I'm looking at the minor arcanas, and to do so I took the Seven of Cups from the pack to count it up. Underneath it is the Justice card, and the potential of that is here. But first, it feels really important to look at our actions, to recognize that justice is those scales, what is happening to us and our reactions to it, and the harmony that is necessary within us if we are to truly bring forth that balance, that lightness within our own hearts. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have one sword card, and it is the King of Swords. Our actions need to be from a more highly driven energy this week. Our actions need to be more mature this week. That may come across as if they're being a little bit stern, but really feeling into that. We still have the wild wisdom here at the bottom of his feet. We still are very grounded into the feminine here. We still have the intuitive knowing here. That may come across as stern to other people. That may come, we may even feel as if that's a bit stern here, but it's, when I close my eyes, all I see is the blue of the card. It's a great opportunity to expand our ability to communicate, yeah, on a much higher level, or at least that is what's needed this week with ourselves as well. We then have one cup card, and it's the Seven of Cups, really feeling into the, I wanted to say the illusion and the almost, it's quite trippy, it's almost surreal energy here. It's almost in the water but isn't in the water. It's very almost untangible. A lot of almosts there. The almost, I was almost there. The almost energy and the frustration that could come up with that. The emotional endurance, because 7 is endurance. 7 is spirituality. 7 is the, yeah, the colours of the rainbow, the energy centres. This is that real building up, not resistance. A restance on how we feel, a restance on what is important to us, a recognition that the confusion has come from not knowing the answers to that. So slowing down and taking an opportunity to feel into where we are emotionally. Actually, things have changed. Things have changed, which means we don't need those same lessons. We don't, that we're unconsciously calling for. Being present with the body and feeling into what is going on emotionally helps those things become a bit more real, helps those almost become closer to us because we're calling them in. But we must feel where we are emotionally, and that's going to take some slowing down this week. Slowing down of the fire energy here. And yes, we may feel as if we're feeling, as if we're being boxed in, as if we're being restricted, as if we can't create in the way that we want to create. How do we know what that is if we're not willing to feel it first? Recognizing the order of creation as well, you know, that getting that idea, and then, yeah, needing the spark, needing the ambition, but also needing the emotions behind it, no matter how uncomfortable. There's a real illusion that emotions aren't impossible, aren't important, that emotions are to be bypassed, to be breathed through, to be, especially particular ones, right? That's not a done thing. That's not to be felt. I need to heal my way through that. Emotions are emotions. They're emotions. Without our stories, they are energy in motion. So how can we best utilize that power? It's very powerful. Remember, the King of Swords has that wolf at his feet. He is grounded in that feminine wisdom. And it's that helps him connect higher. It's not about pushing the emotions aside this week. It's about, dare I say it, enduring them in during them, embracing them, feeling them, working with them. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wand cards. The turning point, the halfway mark, does come from fire. It does come from passion. It does come from transformation. And I need to put them back into the order that they were in. That feels really, really relevant to recognize the order in which these aspects are coming up in us, because that's the pattern. Okay, so here we have the 10 of Wands, we have overwhelm, we have that end game, that chance of moving forward, of not carrying more than what we need to carry. And straight after we have the Queen of Wands, making that decision, nurturing that decision, standing or sitting fast in that position, legs open, connected to the earth, connected to the femininity here. Yes, that is going to make people uncomfortable, and ourselves as well. And it may feel as if, well, we don't know what we're doing then. If we're not going to do what we thought we were doing and we're getting rid of that way now, what is it we are going to be doing? And there can be a real temptation to go back to old ways, old relationships, old beliefs, old scenarios, old lessons, because we're lacking that belief in ourselves to create something different. But that potential is there. And if we can stay open to that, we go beyond those 5 of Wands to the Ace of Wands here. We have that new connection to our spiritual force. And I feel that our spiritual force. I'm trying to think of the... So I'm getting analogies for Star Wars going on in my head. May the 4th. Yes. May the 4th be with you. You know, they use it as an analogy for Star Wars. But yes, there is that force energy. And that is actually this week. Around about the same day. So when is that? I think that's Thursday, Friday. Oh, it is next week. Okay, so being aware of some insights that may not quite be for now doesn't mean that they're not relevant. Okay, there is a building of force coming here. Watch out for May the 4th in particular, because that feels quite relevant to whatever comes up on Saturday. When we slow things down, when we can feel into what's really going on, we can get insights not only of where we are, but where that could potentially lead. And that is really, really important this week, because it's that that's going to help us stand firm in any decisions that we make. Rather than it being defensive, it's going to help us stand firm in the truth that is now needed to take us forward, the spiritual truth that is now needed to take us forward. And that may include being in situations that no longer resonate, that don't feel real, that feel as if they're in a different world, a different language, a different place. And hey, we can visit, we can go on holiday, we can share in these things, but they may not be for us. And that is where the Justice card comes in, right at the bottom. You can see here in this pack, yeah, from the pomegranate in her hand and the fact that she has no skin on her hand, that this Justice card is the other side of the High Priestess. She's been down to the descents of the Dark Goddess. She's journeyed with Persephone, with Inanna. You've got the Wheel of Fortune right at the top here. She's done what she needs to do to create that change. Now the balance comes from recognizing that and saying, this isn't for me, or this is for me, or I recognise that if I want this to change, then that is actually down to any decisions that I now make. So, one card for the whole energy. We've come back to the 7 of Cups. Okay, so I feel like I really don't want to see the 7 of Cups. I feel like I really don't want to sense into energy that has already been there. I feel as if I don't want to repeat what is going on, but there are times this week that it will come back up to light to show us where we need to slow down, to show us where we might not have quite got the message, to feel in emotionally, to sense what is going on for us, to recognize that that truth, that wisdom, that intelligence is what flows through everything we're trying to manifest. And that's where I see the triangle now. That's where I want to focus on the most, and it's golden in colour. And I don't see the square as restrictive anymore. And I feel hope there, but also uncertainty. You know, restriction has always been my catalyst for change, but actually here it feels as if it's an opportunity to be embraced, a security in the unknown, in the golden enlightenment that's available. This is source, this is faith, whatever it is you believe in, whether that's God, whether that's yourself. There's a wonderful opportunity this week to feel emotionally just how much we do feel, just how much we are connected to that, just how much we believe in being of service with that rather than against it. Whatever that may be. Take care. And it could be a week where you find out what that actually means to you. What is your source? Take care. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you soon.